Nancy Guthrie, a beloved 84-year-old grandmother, went missing on the early hours of January 31st, 2026, sending shockwaves through the Tucson community and beyond. Known for her sharp mind and enduring spirit, Nancy had been the cornerstone of her family. After losing her husband at a young age, she raised 3 children, Savannah, Annie, and Cameron, with unwavering love and devotion. A longtime fixture in the community, Nancy had overcome significant physical challenges, relying on a walker and managing chronic heart conditions. But on that fateful night, everything changed. A routine family evening quickly turned to terror when Nancy vanished without a trace, leaving behind only signs of forced entry and a growing sense of dread. The peaceful Catalina foothills, where Nancy lived, suddenly turned into a place of fear, with her family and the authorities desperate to find answers. The start of the investigation. An urgent search begins. On January 31st, Nancy's family dropped her off at her home around 9:45 p.m. as usual. Everything seemed normal. She entered her house using her walker, and the garage door closed quietly behind her. But by the early hours of Sunday, February 1st, something went terribly wrong. Nancy's pacemaker app lost connection, and by noon, the family realized something was off when she failed to attend her regular church service. A frantic call to her home led to the discovery of her empty house. No sign of Nancy, no indication she had left willingly. The Puma County Sheriff's Department quickly declared the house a crime scene after noting forced entry and a small amount of blood inside. The evidence pointed to an abduction, and the FBI soon joined the investigation, bringing national attention to the case. The health crisis, a deadly countdown. As the search for Nancy intensified, the ticking clock became more urgent. Nancy, who had serious heart problems, was dependent on a pacemaker and daily medications to manage her chronic pain and maintain her health. Her family knew that without these medications, she would quickly spiral into a critical condition. Doctors warned that without her medications, serious complications could arise within 24 to 48 hours, potentially leading to heart failure or other fatal events. The investigators' focus on finding Nancy alive grew more urgent as each hour passed, knowing that the longer she was without care, the slimmer the chances of her survival. The situation was dire, and the community's efforts to help grew exponentially as the search continued. Ransom demands, a twisted turn. As the search efforts expanded, the situation took a dark and troubling turn. On February 3rd, just days after Nancy's disappearance, media outlets began reporting that they had received emails and messages claiming to be from the kidnappers. These messages, demanding millions in Bitcoin, contained specific details about Nancy's life and the conditions in her home that had not been made public. The authorities quickly took the communications seriously, sending them to the FBI for further investigation. While there was no direct contact with the Guthrie family yet, the ransom demands painted a chilling picture of what was at stake. Nancy's life hung in the balance, and the possibility that her captors were using her for financial leverage added a new layer of urgency to the case. A heartbreaking plea. The family steps forward. The Guthrie family, devastated by Nancy's disappearance, made a powerful public plea for her safe return on February 4th. Savannah, Annie, and Cameron shared a heart-wrenching video on social media, their voices breaking with emotion, but unwavering in their love for their mother. They expressed gratitude for the prayers and support they had received and addressed the ransom reports directly. With raw honesty, they asked whoever had Nancy to confirm that she was still alive and to reach out so they could negotiate her safe return. The video quickly went viral, resonating with millions who watched in sorrow and hope. The Guthries' willingness to connect with the person holding Nancy was a desperate call for any kind of communication, signaling that they were ready to listen if the captors responded. A sudden shift, the family's final plea. On February 7th, the Guthrie family released another video, this time with a more direct and urgent plea. This message was different. In it, they acknowledged receiving a message from Nancy's captors and expressed their willingness to pay whatever it took to bring her home. Their voices, now stronger and more desperate, called for Nancy's return, stating that peace would only come with her safe return. The video quickly spread, with national media outlets sharing it and the public responding with an outpouring of support. This new development marked a shift in the investigation, as the family's willingness to engage with the kidnappers signaled a change in tactics. The FBI and local law enforcement continued to track every lead, but still there were no answers. The ransom deadline. The clock ticks. As February 8th approached, the situation grew more desperate. New ransom demands surfaced, this time for $6 million in Bitcoin, with a deadline set for 5 p.m. on Monday, February 9th. The threats included dire consequences for Nancy's safety if the deadline wasn't met. The FBI and local authorities treated the threat seriously while also warning against speculation. The pressure was mounting as the family's plea and the ransom demands created a growing sense of urgency. The public watched in horror, hoping for a breakthrough but fearing the worst. Was Nancy still alive? Was she being cared for? Or was her health deteriorating further without her vital medications? Every passing hour added weight to the uncertainty that surrounded the case. A nation holds its breath. By day 8 of the search, the nation was glued to the story. With every new report, every plea from the family, and every new lead pursued by authorities, the mystery surrounding Nancy's disappearance deepened. The lack of communication from her captors added to the tension, as every detail, from the blood on the porch to the lost signal from her pacemaker, became a piece of the puzzle that might unlock the truth. Nancy's family remained steadfast, their love and determination evident in every public message. They refused to give up hope, holding on to the belief that their mother, grandmother, and beloved community member could still be brought home. But with each day that passed, the window for her safe return was closing, and the pressure was mounting on both law enforcement and the Guthrie family to find answers before it was too late. The hunt for answers. The road ahead. As the search for Nancy continues, the community remains in suspense, waiting for any breakthrough that could bring her home. Law enforcement is working tirelessly, tracking down every lead, but with no concrete evidence, the case is filled with uncertainty. The family's courage in the face of such pain has been a beacon of hope, but the reality of the situation is stark. With the ransom demands still in play, the authorities are left to navigate a complex and urgent investigation. The question remains: will the kidnappers make contact? Will they return Nancy safely to her family? The world is watching and the clock is ticking. If you have any information, the authorities urge you to come forward, as the hope for Nancy's safe return lies in the hands of those who may know something. The hunt continues, but time is of the essence.